You get what I'm saying? Like, I have to ask that question. So he gets a homestead in Dexter, right, which is basically, I don't know, about 10 miles to the east. And when he gets his homestead, you have to sign an affidavit and get 4 witnesses under threat of perjury, land fraud. There's all kinds of things that can happen. They ask a question. Are you...
A small town once lived here, in the wide open spaces of opportunity.
That the black man should control the politics of his own community and control the politicians who are in his own community. My personal economic philosophy is also black nationalism, which means that the black man should have a hand in controlling the economy of the so-called Negro community. He should be developing the type of knowledge that will enable him to own and operate.
Well, now we have questions, and that's where the long story goes, and my dissertation discusses it. But it says that he had a very specific understanding of how Blackton fit into his life. And so that's why when I tell the story of Blackton, and I don't mention Boyer as much, it can kind of become problematic for the family. Because the way that they see it, he was Moses. And I don't write that particular kind of story.
And so...
A small town once lived here, in the wide open spaces of opportunity. Each passing season, more people came here to settle, for this was a place where dreams were possible.
Some of the Blacktonites received oil royalties well into the World War II era. Well, when you look at Wikipedia, for example, and I'm going to mention why I said Wikipedia. When you look at Wikipedia, it says that Blackton ended in 21, basically in the middle of that era. But they skip a whole 10-year period that Blackton existed from, when they say it ended in 1921. I don't know when you read, but 1921-ish, it's wrong. Well, why do I mention Wikipedia? Because I tried to change Wikipedia, and they wouldn't allow me to change it. Yeah, they whatever reason.
So, what is Blackton? Is it a... So, if I don't know about it.
Okay. What is Blackton? Blackton was an investment vehicle. Black towns were profit makers for black people. It's like getting a record label.
A small town.
Philosophy degree in Borderlands history, Timothy E. Nelson, will be led by Dr. Jeffrey Shepard, in memoriam Dr. Maceo Crenshaw Daly, and Dean of the College of Liberal Arts, Dr. Patricia Withers.
Same sensibilities. So Blackton was an investment vehicle that marketed blackness so that other black people can come and build a refuge and then go on from there. But their main idea was to build educational institutions, so on and so on. They actually had a seminary as well. So,
How many people were there?
it's hard to know specifically because the census during that time period is a little shady. The census would tell you about 400. Boyer would say it was closer to 1,000, more like 800 to 1,000. But by the time it got big, they started spreading out because during the 1920s, you had a lot of violence against black people. Well, as black people started getting successful, because Blackton, they struck oil around 1919, 1920, they organized the Blackton Oil Company. But in 1920s, you also have like the burning of Black Wall Street, right? So the violence against black excellence
A small town once lived here, wide open spaces of opportunity. Each passing season, more people came here to settle, for this was a place where dreams were possible.